Hi, it's Sarah and welcome to my video. Okay, now I'm gonna take the time to move on to number 2 reason of why you should not be consuming meat. Hey you guys, this is actually part 2 of my series, so if you missed part 1, be sure to go check that out after. I talked about all environmental factors, factory farming, poop lagoons, even reducing our carbon footprint, so make sure you don't forget to check that out afterwards. And now I have decided I'm going to talk about factory farming. So like I said, if you haven't seen a video of factory farming or have ever been forced to watch it in school, I say forced, but it's a good thing that they show you this, then please go check that out at some point after you watch this. You know, write it down, Google it in another tab or something, and just be prepared. You probably want to finish watching this first because you're not ready yet. I will disclose what happens. Basically, like I was saying, all those chickens are cooped up, no pun intended, there's such a small space, stepping on each other. Also, like, they're standing on these wires. They don't always have their feet or their toes, or they're all cut up. And it's just horrible, like, to even think about it, let alone watching those videos. Like, I can just picture it vividly in my mind because I've talked about this. I've done multiple projects on this just because I'm so passionate about it. If you can't withstand, like, an entire video, just watch clips of it. Like, you might throw up. That's how, like, gruesome it is. So I'm warning you now, but you just have to watch it. If you've never seen it, you just have to watch it at least once. Like, maybe I can give you the link to some really bad ones, but even, like, for no reason, sometimes the animal are brutalized. Like, the people aren't told to treat them nicely. They'll beat them. I've seen cows being punched in the head. If a cow is pregnant, they'll literally just slice it open and pull it out, and not in the way you would do on a farm. Trust me, that's visually not what they do. And they'll, like, throw the calves into wheelbarrows. I'm so sorry this is so graphic. I warned you. Yeah, so much bad stuff happens. Not to mention these little chicks, you know, like baby chickens, they come out, they, like, chop off their beaks, like, they shave down the tip or whatever, they slice it right off, and they basically just shoot them in the head with steroids, and they, like, just boop. It looks like they're checking them out of a grocery store, like they are employee of the month, like, for scanning so quickly, like, chick, shot in the head, here's your steroids. Like, that's not ethically sound. Not to mention they only keep the chickens, like the female chicks, and the male chicks come down this little conveyor belt, disclosing right here, and literally get sent into a grinder alive. Like, they don't even have the decency to, like, I don't know, like, what they would do, because obviously it's factory farming and they're evil, but they literally just grind them up because that is the cheapest way to kill them. So they just put them in this little churn, they grind them up like meat, and it comes out like sausage at the end. Like, if that doesn't make you not eat meat ever again, I don't know what will. But yeah, that's pretty graphic, so watch that too. And yeah, there's just so much more I could say, but the ethics on that is just not good. Not to mention the way the animals feel have a direct reflection on the way the meat is. A healthier chicken, a happier chicken is not gonna produce bad, foul meat, but one that was on one of those farms like that certainly will. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about now the third reason. So aside from the environment, the ethics of factory farming, now we're gonna talk about what the factory farms do to us specifically. And that is because I was just kind of talking about the way they do factory farming. They're shooting the chicks in the head with these steroids, and they do this to all animals on the factory farms. Now, if you haven't seen these pictures, which you probably haven't, I'm gonna put one in here. It's like, literally, I think I'll probably type in, like, steroid cow, and that is basically what we're eating when we're not eating, like, local beef. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not natural. Like, this cow is not getting gains in the gym. It's getting steroids. And that's just scary to me because, one, that's very unethical for that poor cow. That cow never asked to be that big. If the cow didn't take steroids because it's trying to impress a woman or a man, we did that to it. Like, we are doing that to it. And you might say, well, I didn't put steroids in the cow. No, but you're buying the meat Now, I'm not trying to sound like a hypocrite, like I will still go to McDonald's. I do enjoy some Five Guys, I'm sorry. Like, rare occasions though. But basically, we can stop it, you know, if we just stop eating that type of meat, or all meat. But yeah, these cows, these chickens, everything, they're on steroids. There's two things. Yes, they get very, very big, generally like double their natural size, depending on the animal. And that's scary because obviously that's not natural. But also, they are maturing at such a quicker rate that they can reach their full size in nearly like half the time. A chicken can become full grown in extremely less amount of time when it's taken these steroids that they give it. And not to mention becomes twice as big. Now, why do they do this? Because one chicken is going to be in their place, and that's costing them money to raise this chicken. So less amount of time, the more sales they have. Twice the size of the chicken, it's like 2 chickens right there. Hello, they're making more money with less effort. Of course, I'm sure these steroids cost money, but they can't cost that much because they like to use them like there's freaking no tomorrow. Hello, if you don't think that's bad ethically, just think about it. We're putting steroids in chicken, we're buying that chicken, and now we're eating that chicken. We are also feeding that chicken to our children. You go buy your kids chicken nuggets at McDonald's Happy Meal. I'm not trying to say McDonald's uses steroids. I'm just saying most meat that's raised on a factory farm has steroids in it. All of that aside, I want to talk about just why we're eating meat. It's like commonly said, and you're always taught in school, that humans are omnivores. We can eat both meat and plants to survive, and we generally eat a combination of both to get all our nutrients and all that good stuff. That being said, it doesn't mean this standard that we have today is the correct way to do it. Now think about back when the cavemans were here and they were hunters and gatherers, right? Now they started eating their fruits, nuts, seeds, vegetables, all these plants and everything that they could find, and that was great. Now sometimes that didn't always work out for them, so they were kind of forced to hunt and kind of capture their own food. But they could only really do that after they had discovered fire, because they needed to cook their meat in order for it to be safe to eat. I just want to talk about kind of the way humans are built and the way other animals are built as well. So think about a tiger, I guess. Look at its teeth. They're sharp. They're very predator-like. Now look at our teeth. They're not like that. And yeah, we can physically eat meat, but if we didn't have the means to do so, if we weren't so smart and we didn't have our hands, our mouths aren't designed to rip into the flesh of an animal like you might see a lion killing another animal. We're not gonna go attack and kill an animal with our bare hands. In our teeth, like maybe we could like go strangle an animal. But here's another reason. Think about that right now. Think about you as a human grabbing a deer with your mouth and your nails and ripping it apart and like slurping down its intestines. Does that sound visually appealing to you or tasty to you? No, and there's a reason why that's not mentally like reinforced in your mind, right? We don't smell an animal and go, that's tonight's dinner, and start crawling after it, because we're not hardwired to think that way. We might like the taste of a hamburger, but it's been cooked, it's been separated, it's been seasoned, it has all this other stuff on it, all these flavors packed into it that aren't naturally there. But we don't like the taste of a cow, raw cow flesh, okay? We don't like that. We don't like tasting its fur and its blood and its intestines with every bite that we eat of that hamburger. Notice our mental state of that, first of all. Notice our teeth are really not capable for ripping flesh. And what they are capable of, though, are all these molars and stuff we have are capable of crushing down vegetables and all that good stuff, and fruits and seeds and everything. And also notice our jaw. It goes side to side. Now watch a video of like a dinosaur eating some plants. They do that same thing because that's how they break down their vegetables. Now it doesn't even have to be a dinosaur. Like look at a giraffe. They eat the same way, right? Our jaw has that ability to do that. So therefore we are clearly designed to eat plants, hence either being an herbivore or an omnivore. But, you know, we can still eat meat with our jaw, right? We have the ability to kind of do that, right? Once it's cooked and everything. But look at our nails too. We have thin, brittle nails. Unless you have like some crazy knife acrylics like your Edward Scissorhands, we don't have the ability to like rip apart flesh with our nails or our teeth. Like we've had to make spears and like all this other stuff to kill animals because we don't physically have the capability to do it on our own. Thinking less externally and more internally, the way that our intestines are designed, we have a large intestine, and that's long. If you've ever taken biology, then you would know we have this long squiggly intestine. We have our small intestine, we have our large intestine, and it takes up a lot of our body. And that is designed that way so we can absorb the nutrients in plants because they take a little bit longer to absorb. So we have the time to absorb them properly and get everything that we need out of them. But what they aren't good at is digesting meat. Do you want to know why? Because if you look at carnivores' intestines, not that you would, but if you were to look at them, they have shorter intestinal tracts, and therefore when they eat the meat, you know, they get the nutrients out of it that they need, and then it goes out, and that's fine and dandy, you know, end of the day. That's the end of their meal. And for us, if we eat meat, it sits in our intestines for a long time, and that starts to ferment, and that meat is no bueno. And that is specifically why we need to cook our meat beforehand. We can't just eat raw meat or else we will get sick, and that is why. Because when carnivores eat meat, it goes right through them, they get what they need to, and it's out. We don't do that. It sits there, we can't eat raw meat, not good. Okay? Now once again, another disclaimer, I don't have a degree in any of this, I've not studied it, so don't quote me on anything. I'm just putting out what I know, what I've researched. So I'm just simply doing like an oral research paper right now. Like I said, I have my paper that I wrote. I'm basically regurgitating that from my mind. Okay, you guys, that is it for this video, but don't forget this was part 2 of my series. So if you missed part 1, be sure to go check that out now. And also be sure to check out those factory farming videos. And yeah, be mentally prepared for that. But also, I do have a part 3 coming out, so make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. It'll be so much easier to find the next video if you are. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel, and I'll know that you guys are liking the whole vegan topic and just getting it all out there because there's so much to talk about. So be sure to subscribe so you can see my new videos and check out some of my other ones while you're at it. Thank you for joining me today and absorbing all the information that I had to say. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful day and happy veganism. Bye!